The Wii U is better than Switch 2, Switch 1, Nintendo Wii, and GameCube combined. Okay? The Wii U is better than Switch 2, Switch 1, Nintendo Wii, GameCube combined. Okay? When it comes to Call of Duty, the Wii U rules supreme on it. There's no console that can come close to it. Not even the PlayStation 5 with the Portal, not even the PS4, not even the PlayStation 3 or PS2, not even the original Xbox, the 360, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. None of those consoles come close to this. They don't. This console is the real deal when it comes to video games. We're talking functionality and utilization of video games. When the Wii, I try to tell people that the Switch should have never been built. You know, and people were like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. But now you guys are getting a dose of your own medicine now, because you spend so much time lying on this console, and you never wanted to hold Nintendo Corporation accountable for what they do. You try to give them a pass all the time. You try to sweep the problem under the rug and act like it wasn't creating a problem. So now Nintendo is doing the same. Now Nintendo is giving those Nintendo YouTubers a dose of their own medicine. The Switch 2 is not better than this. The Switch 1 is not better than this. The Nintendo Wii is not better than this. And the GameCube for sure is not better than this. When it comes to the Wii U has functionality and utilization of video games. Okay? Yeah. You don't have functionality and utilization with the original Xbox, with the 360, with the Xbox One, and with the Xbox Series X and S. You don't have it with the PlayStation 3, PS2, PS4, PS5. With the Portal. This console is the real deal. So when it comes to the Wii U, it was never about sales. Nintendo created a cartridge versus CD problem with the Wii U and the 3DS. See, we had the cartridge versus CD problem between the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64. But Nintendo recreated it, and none of these Nintendo YouTubers that like to talk about Nintendo mentioned this, or they never studied the difference between the Wii U and the 3DS, or they leave the 3DS whenever they do a Wii U video, or they call the Wii U a gimmick because they themselves cannot explain the Wii U from top to bottom. They tried. I've seen them all. They all failed. So Nintendo created a cartridge versus CD problem with the Wii U, and then there was the Virtual Console to deal with. The only difference between the Wii U and the 3DS and the PlayStation 1 and the 64 is that when it came to the PlayStation 1 and 64, it was Sony versus Nintendo. But Nintendo now, they took that same philosophy and then tried to apply it to the Wii U and 3DS. But then you had the Virtual Console to deal with. That's the difference. So when it comes to the Wii U, it was never about sales. It was a problem that Nintendo Corporation themselves created, and they don't want to admit that they were wrong for this. They created the problem, and what happened was you had people buying the 3DS, and then you had people buying the Wii U. But the people that was buying the 3DS, they don't understand video games because they never studied the Wii U. If you listen to them try to explain the Wii U, they need video clips to help them out. Without that video clip, their videos are no good. They have to run to video clips because they have no juice. Anyway, here's the deal. When it comes to the Wii U, Nintendo created a cartridge versus CD problem. So the answer to that problem now was to get rid of the 3DS because you really don't need it, because you had this to deal with. Okay? And then you had the Virtual Console. Okay? Because with the Wii U, you have every angle every direction, every base of video game covered. You got gaming on the controller, gaming on the tablet, gaming on the console. You have the you have the motion. You have motion gaming covered. Everything was right there for them to use. They decided to go against it. Okay, they told people that it was sales and marketing why the Wii U failed. That's the biggest lie in video games. And Nintendo YouTubers that covered Nintendo never mentioned this. Because why? They got stocks. Nintendo is either sponsoring them or they got stocks within the company. So if they speak, if they speak negatively about Nintendo, they might lose their stock option or they might lose their sponsorship. Okay, that's the difference. Anyway, so with the Wii U now, you have everything covered. So the only thing now to do is get rid of the 3DS because you don't need it anymore. And all those 3DS games, they were supposed to be in the Virtual Console, so you can play them on the Wii U. When I went inside the Wii U's eShop, I remember going inside the Wii U's eShop, I saw the 3DS games and the Wii U games sitting side by side in the same eShop because they would have like these weekly sales. So I'm saying to myself, like, wait a minute, why is it that I can't buy the 3DS games and play them on the Wii U? When I mentioned that in a YouTube video that I did, Nintendo got YouTubers that watch other people's videos, and what they do, if you bring up something about Nintendo that they never covered or they never talk about, they go back to Nintendo and tell them about it, and then what Nintendo tried to do is make the correction. So here's the deal. So I go inside the Wii U's eShop and I'm like, wait a minute, why is it that I can't buy the games are sitting side by side, and I'm saying like, okay, why is it that I can't buy the 3DS games and play them on this, right? When I mentioned that in the video, you know what they did? They removed it. So the next time now when you go back up in the eShop, all you saw were Wii U games. Okay? Nintendo have people have YouTubers that works for Nintendo, and they have stock options, and they get special perks. They get special perks with Nintendo, right? So they try to walk that thin line so they don't lose their sponsorship or their perks that they get. So what they did, they went to Nintendo and reported. So anyway, the Wii U is better than the Switch 2, Switch 1, Wii, and GameCube combined, because I have functionality and utilization of video games. With the GameCube, I don't have functionality and utilization of video games. With the Wii, I don't even have functionality and utilization of video games. With the Switch, I don't have functionality and utilization of video games. And with the Switch 2, I don't have functionality and utilization of video games. The Wii U does. So in other words, the Switch should have never been built. Okay? The Switches should have never been built. Nintendo should have refreshed this and continue using it. So the one thing the Virtual Console was really missing was the GameCube games, right? So all those GameCube games, they need the Wii U tablet function, and they need this. All of them. The Nintendo Wii games needed this, and they needed the Wii U Pro Controller function, and they needed this. The Switch 1 and Switch 2 games, they needed this, and they needed this function. Okay? It's called functionality and utilization of video games. The Switch 1 and Switch 2 don't have it. The Wii and the GameCube don't have it. So in other words, the Wii U is better than all of them. All of those consoles combined. Okay? This. When it comes to Call of Duty, man, this console rules supreme. If you've played Black Ops 2 and Ghost on this, there's no console that comes close to it. There's none. Okay? This console is the real deal, because on this screen, You can you get the map, you get the loadouts, you get the scoreboard, you get to you get to customize the game how you want it while you are using this. Okay, so you have two radars. You got one, and you can increase the size of the radar if you want to. You get one on your TV, and you get one here. You don't have that. You don't have that with Microsoft consoles. You don't have that with PlayStation consoles. You only have it with the Wii U. Okay, so the Switch 1 and Switch 2 should have never been built. So when Nintendo built the Switch 1 and Switch 2, they lost all this feature. Okay, so what you have was just a bare bone system with no features on it. You notice they try to bring the camera back with the Switch 2, but the Wii U already have it. See if I can get this. The Wii U already have it. The Wii U camera is right here. The Wii U camera is right here. The Amiibo support is right there. Yeah. And then you have your L1 and L2 and R1 and R2. Your R1 and R2 and L1 and L2. You have your triggers. Okay. And then you can use this tablet to control your TV. Yeah. That's how good this console is. So the Switch should have never been built. Then you have a SD card port. We got it here. We got two USB ports in the front, two in the back. You have the HDMI port on the back. Everything was right there for them to use. They went against it. The Switch should have never been built. Okay? And Nintendo was withholding a lot of updates from the Wii U, meaning that every game that the Wii had, it needed the tablet and Wii U Pro Controller function. Every game the GameCube has, it needed the tablet and the Wii U Pro Controller function. The same goes for the Switch. Every game the Switch has, it needs the tablet and the Wii U Pro Controller function. Every game that the Switch 2 has now, it needs the Wii U Pro Controller and the Wii U tablet function. None of those consoles have it. So what you have with the Switch 1 and Switch 2 are just bare bone consoles, and you're just limited. What you have with the Wii and the GameCube is just bare bone consoles, and you are just limited. Okay, this console is the real deal. So the Switch should have never been built. You can't utilize video games on the Switch 1 and Switch 2 like you would on this. Yeah. Okay. So when it came to the Wii U, Nintendo, what they should have done was got rid of the 3DS, got rid of it, take all their games, put them in a virtual console, bring the Wii U tablet function and the Wii U Pro Controller function to it. They never did. The same goes for the Wii. The Wii games was missing a lot of updates. The GameCube games were missing a lot of updates. Here's what I mean. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the GameCube CD 1.1. 1.1 gig of storage on this. Okay? If you remember, during the PS2, Xbox, and even the Dreamcast era, the Dreamcast was 200 megahertz. And using a 1 gigahertz GD-ROM, right? The PlayStation 2 was 300 megahertz. Using a 4 gigs DVD disc, right? The original Xbox was 733 megahertz, using a 4 gigs to 8 gigs DVD disc. The GameCube is 485 megahertz, using a 1.1. So the reason I'm saying that is because the GameCube, the games that were on the PS2, Dreamcast, the games that were on the PS2 or an original Xbox, they had more contents than the ones that were on the GameCube. Okay, so they're missing a lot of content from this, right? So these games, the GameCube game, all of them, they need to be inside the Wii U's eShop, right? So you can have the Wii U tablet function and the Wii U Pro Controller function, and that way you can utilize the games like they were meant to be utilized, right? When it came to the Wii, the PlayStation 3 was using like I think about seven CPUs running at 3 gigs apiece. The Xbox 360 was using 3 CPUs running 3 gigs apiece. The Wii was just 733 megahertz, just like the original Xbox. The PlayStation 3 was using a Blu-ray disc. The Blu-ray is like about 54 gigs, but the Blu-ray disc does it in layers, so it's really 54. So it's like 27 on one layer, 27 on the other layer, so it's like 54 gigs total. The Xbox 360 now was using an HD DVD disc, and that was 15 gigs in storage. Okay. The Nintendo Wii now was only using an 8 gig of storage CD. Okay. So all the games on the Wii, every one of them, every game on the Nintendo Wii, they were missing a lot of content and a lot of updates. So they were to be applied to the Wii U, so you can have a Wii U version of those games, right? The Nintendo Wii now was about 3 gigs, about 3 gigs, but they were using a 25 gig CD. This is the Wii U CD, 25 gigs. So all those games that was on the GameCube and the Wii, they needed to be on this. They need to have a Wii U version, and they should have been in the Virtual Console so you can buy them and play them on the Wii U. The Switch should have never been built. So when Nintendo built the Switch 1 and Switch 2, they lost a lot of features that the Wii U have. They just had, those systems are just bare bones systems. And then with the Switch 2 now, they try to bring it back now. They try to slightly bring it back by bringing a camera, talking about game chat. But on the Wii U, we had a camera for Wii U chat. Okay, so the Switch should have never been built. Okay, with the Wii U, you had the Crunchyroll app. You had a bunch of apps on there, and then you had Facebook. You had your internet browser where you can look up MSN, Yahoo, Google. Yeah. The Wii U had all that. You had YouTube on the Wii U. YouTube. Yeah. The Switch 1 and Switch 2 should have never been built. So all those games that's on the Switch 1 and Switch 2, they were really meant for this. They were really meant for this. So you can take advantage of them. Okay? Not only that, with the Wii U, they should have had it to where you could connect 4 of these, about 4 of them, to this. 4 controllers. 4 controllers, right? They should have had it to where you connect 4 Wii U tablets to this, right? Okay. And the same should be applied to the Wii U Pro controller. You have 4 of these, 4 Wii U Pro controller connected to this, right? The same thing goes for the motion controller. Same thing goes for the motion controller. Okay? Everything was right there for them to use. They went against it. Nintendo didn't even give the Wii U an eject feature, an eject feature to where you use the Wii U Pro controller to eject the disc. Okay? The Wii U is better than the Switch 1 and Switch 2 combined. Okay? They should have never built it. Now, with the Wii U console, the tablet needed a motherboard, CPU, GPU, APU, RAM, and an SSD. Probably needed a micro SD card port. Okay? Yeah. And then lengthen and widen the screen, like I've said before. The same applied for the console, right? You can take the specs of the Switch 1 and Switch 2 and combine it. You can take the specs of the Switch 1 and Switch 2 and combine it and put it here and put it here. Okay, put it here and put it here. Yeah, the Switch should have never been built. Okay, not only that, with the Wii U, you had external hard drive support, which can go up to about 30 gigs in storage. Right. So you put some more space. You put some more space on the Wii U's 25 gig CD. Increase the hard drive space. Refresh the console a little bit. Fix the signal strength. Put some specs here. Put some specs here. And just keep using it. Everything was right there for them to use. They went against it. So now, when it comes to the Switch 2, now I'm hearing now that One, the system needs an update before you can use it. That's number one. Number two, they say they can brick your system. Number three, you don't own your games. Number four, the games don't come on the SD card. And number five, you need a game key card just to play your games. So it would be like what the Xbox One tried to do. Microsoft with the Xbox One. And Nintendo should be getting the same treatment like how Microsoft did with the Xbox One, because with Xbox One you need a internet connection to use that console. Right? You didn't even own the console when you went to the store and purchased the thing. You never owned it. They wanted you to like have an internet connection to use the console. But then now, in order to play offline, they try to be slick. They try to tell you now that in order for you to play offline, you need an internet connection. So they try to give you an offline play with an internet connection to it. And every real gamer should know. Every real gamer should know that offline play means that there's no internet connection whatsoever connected to your console, whether through cable or whether through wireless. Okay? That's what Microsoft tried to do. So basically, the Xbox One was a disposable console. So if the Xbox One is a disposable console, and the only way to use the Switch is to connect it to the internet, that means the Nintendo Switch 2 is a disposable console too. So Nintendo needs to get the same treatment, just like how Microsoft did with Xbox One. See, I was one of the YouTubers that I was the YouTuber that called Microsoft out on the console situation when I told them that the Xbox One was the world's first disposable console. And when I told them, I said, Xbox console ban means that PlayStation user base got bigger. Oh, they got the message all right. They did. That's why they switched it up now to where on the Xbox One now you can play your console games offline with no internet connection. That was because I was the one that got at them about it. With Nintendo now, they try to do the same thing with Microsoft by saying you got to be connected to the internet to use it. And then on top of that now, when it comes to backwards compatibility, Nintendo Corporation can't afford backwards compatibility like how they did with the Nintendo Wii and the Wii U. So you're saying to yourself, is like, okay, how is it that a multi-billion-dollar corporation company can't afford backwards compatibility in 2025? That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. So now with the Switch 2, you just have to sit back and just look like you got to ask yourself this question: is this console worth getting? And I'm gonna be real honest with you. The answer is no. It's not. It's not worth getting. Be real honest with you, but it's not worth getting. They can brick your system. There's no game on the disc. You need game key cards. You need game key cards to use video games, right? The system needs to be connected online to use it. You don't. This Nintendo Switch is not worth getting. So in other words, now, when I was telling you guys that the Switch should have never been built, I was giving you a warning of what's to come. When I told you the Switch should have never been built, because all Nintendo had to do was refresh the Wii U and make the Wii U backwards compatible with the GameCube, and that was it. Okay? They want you to repurchase. They want you to repurchase. Let me see here. Where's this game at? See if I can find it. They want you to repurchase Soul Calibur 2. They want you to repurchase Soul Calibur 2. You just spent $60 on the game. Wow, what, $60 on this? Now they want you to repurchase. Not only that, they raised the price now for video games now to about what $80 now? It used to be $70, now it's $80. Yeah. The Nintendo YouTubers want to make it look like Nintendo was the one that raised the price, but Xbox was the one that raised it when the games were $70. But now Nintendo raised it to 80. So now they want you to pay how much for this now? This is Soul Calibur 2. Yeah. This is why the Switch should have never been built. Because from day one I was trying to tell people. From day one I said, look, I said to you guys, the Switch should have never been built. Okay? I tried to tell you the Nintendo fan base needs were met. All Nintendo had to do was refresh the console. I even took my cell phone and put it by the Wii U to show you guys that the Wii U was a complete system, because it completes the Switch 2, that's 1. It completes the Switch, that's 2. It completes the Wii, that's 3. It completes the GameCube, that's 4. Everything was right there for them to use. They choose to go against it. The Wii U had everything locked up. The Wii U had everything locked up, okay? Had everything locked up. They choose to go against it. So now the Nintendo fan base are gonna pay for it. Are gonna pay for it now. You know, all because they never called Nintendo out for what they did to the Wii U. Okay, because Nintendo withheld a lot of games and a lot of updates from the Wii U. Look, Xenoblade Chronicle X. Xenoblade Chronicle X is bigger than Fallout 4, Skyrim, and The Witcher 3 combined. So if the game is that big, it means that Skyrim can run on the Wii U. It means that Dragon Dogma can run on the Wii U. Okay? It means that Final Fantasy can run on the Wii U. It was Nintendo that was withholding it, all those games from the Wii U. Okay? Even those Capcom games that they made, they can run on the Wii U. It was Nintendo that was withholding it. Okay? Yeah. So you're sitting there, so you're sitting there, you're saying to yourself, if the game is, why would they withhold all these games? All because they didn't want to give up the 3DS. Look, the Wii has some Call of Duties on there. They should have been updated so you can play them like how you do Black Ops 2 and Ghost on the Wii U. Those games are Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, World at War, Modern Warfare 4, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops, okay, even Black Ops 3. Those games can run on the Wii U. It was Nintendo that was sitting there withholding it, withholding a lot of games from the console, withholding a lot of update from this console, from this console, all because they want to build something new. So me personally, I sat there and I'm just like, when I saw the Switch coming, I ran from it. I never went near it. And then when I saw the Switch 2 coming, I was still skeptical. I said, "No, you're still not better than the Wii U." And then there was news out there talking about the Switch has an 8.4-inch screen. But now we got to find out that it's 7.9 now. So now I'm just like, my hands are like this. Just saying. I'm kind of like hands off it. Even though they got a new Mario Kart that looks like Forza Horizon, I'm still kind of like hands off it, you know. So I say all this, man, because I say this because the Wii U is better than the Switch 1 and Switch 2 combined, and the Wii and the GameCube. It is. Okay. Not only that, look, the Wii U has a GameCube adapter that needs some updates, right? But they needed a Wii adapter for the Wii U so you can use the Wii Wii controllers on the Wii U. They withheld so many games, man, from the Wii U. So the sales, marketing, commercial failure argument was a lie created by Nintendo, and the Nintendo YouTubers spread that lie all over the internet because, one, they had sponsorship with Nintendo, and two, they were getting special perks. Okay? Yeah. Anyway, so I say all this to say this, that the Wii U is better than the Switch 1 and Switch 2 combined in 2025, 2026. Okay? Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, the Star Wars started playing. Bored, Dark Side. Go out. Peace.